What is up, ladies and gentlemen? The Jote Lion here. And today we're going to be talking about my day 6, day 7 stuff that I've been doing recently. Only had one day of work on Wednesday. I took yesterday off just for the fact is that had some pain in my leg. So always good to have like a day of rest, day of healing. But also day 7 was a paycheck day, really. So we're gonna be talking about this. Okay, day 6, literally, with my trading card in business, I ended up making just a cool 89 cents. Not much, but it is something. So most of the things that I have a couple of pay periods coming up. I got a 279 coming. Next week I got another $4.64 payment coming. Plus I got another $23.30 payment coming. But I'll tell you this. It was, let's see. Lost about a little bit of money. I'm going to tell you right now. So 89 cents technically, but looking at my numbers here, plus 224, or no, 225. With everything I spent yesterday, it's a cool about. I still made about $207 profit. 74 cents was paying the rent, everything. Um, there's a lot of things that I will say that financially I was very able to get things taken care of with the rent. But the fact is, losing a day worth of pay, I will say that it is going to be very difficult to kind of catch up because that's about over almost $200 that I gave up. But when you're doing most of your walking at work, you don't really hold on to. You need to be out of pain to do something like that. So things that we're going to be talking about is like I just put 10 of those dollars into earlier today. I just put 10 into the stocks, my stock account, and turn around. We're going to be doing the investing. Like I said, people don't think that you need a lot of money to do so. I was able to get into the stock market for $10. I'm going to see how much money I can build through the next 3 years. See if we can start using some of the money that we can basically buy and flip stocks. Currently, I will say this. I got in real late. I got in about 15 minutes before the market closed. And in those 15 minutes, I will say that I was able to make about 32 cents, actually. So, bought 2 stocks myself right now. Wasn't able to get into the third one. I actually was about ready to buy a third one. But, yeah, bought 2 of ticker EPG and ticker PMAX. I bought about 3 of them. Yeah, so far so good. It's just the fact is trying to make sure that you have the money to spend. It does fluctuate. Buying limit orders, making sure that I get them at the price I want. That's one thing about investing, guys. Like I said, if you're getting into the stock market, basically, if you want to buy the price and buy it quickly, a lot of times a lot of people will buy market prices and buy it right when it is. More often than not, I'm learning how to more buy a limit and buy it for the lowest cost of that limit price, and knowing how to do the limit or where the price range where people are buying at that particular time, and I will buy low. And that helped me turn literally a $5.98 of PepG to turn it into $6.30 so far. So we're not doing too bad so far. I made basically that I made a 3.1% return on investment today, and hopefully that we can continue that. So it's a good start. It's looking pretty good on that investment account. But today I'm going to be going into work, ladies and gentlemen. I'm working on just basically doing what I got to do. Thought I'd get this video in. And get things taken care of. Let's see. Like I said, it's a little bit of some of the topics that ChatGPT. You know, everybody knows that I use a little bit of AI talking to So I got, like I said, I got a little bit of money with business coming in. I got a little bit of money with stocks. Every little bit of sense kind of cuts down the cost of living. It helps put money back into my pocket, so cost of living doesn't seem so high. We're going to try a lot of different money making strategies. I'm hoping that we can actually get work on it next week. But Monday's episode is going to have the weekend involved. So now, like I said before, and I'll say it again, the mindset that I actually would love that I've taken upon myself is to understand that we have to make this goal. It's a grind. It's a struggle. It's everything. And to be able to make money with all the stress and the commotion and everything around, it's not easy. And it's not going to be overnight. So you have to understand how to stay focused, stay motivated. Like I said, the beginnings of these stages, I'm not making much. So if I'm not looking at everything and trying to understand, let's see what we got here. I'll tell you exactly, like I said, I made money this week. So basically we are on the path we are currently year to date about $208.34 ahead of what I was. So we're going to be working on that. So it gives us pretty much a pretty good goal. That's after paying all the rent and everything like that. We've got more money coming in. We're hoping that we can do more, a little bit more sacrificing. We're going to be cutting down on a lot of expenses. Luckily, I got a job that actually has a cafeteria that actually deducts from food, so I don't have to worry about food as often as I should have. But if you got a job like that, appreciate it. If you don't, sometimes it's the cutting down. I used to work at Amazon. I used to cut down on a lot of meals. But yeah, it's basically turning all this, the money, the small wins, the financial movements, and turning it and burning it, and being able to understand even small amounts of money is money less. Like I said, even with the $10 making 32 cents, that's 3.2%. Inflation's at like 2.5%. So you basically caught up a little bit of inflation, made your money back on that. Even small amounts are gonna win you the day. I will say this. Another thing we're gonna look at towards, we need to start planning. We need to start budgeting our schedule too. We need to actually start to focus more on getting up early, spending less, just enough hours to sleep so you can maximize the potentials of each day. And it's one of those things that I have to start learning on my own and start adjusting and getting myself on that, on my goal to have at least $75,000 by the end of the year. And that's what we're going to work on, or by the end of the 1 year cycle. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it if you guys are watching this video. I really do. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you like the content, like the little kind of talking and personalized conversation that we have here, drop a like, even drop me a comment. If you guys want to hear something to talk about, I mean, know there's a lot of people that have been throwing it into my comments recently that we've been working on. And it's one of those things that I will say that a lot of people have came up saying, hey, I've got this much money, I've done this job, I got this job. One person even talked to me about housing. And doing housing and stuff like that. And I appreciate. Like they said, well, people say buying housing, they don't buy a house, but they're buying up all the houses. They're buying up the houses. And it's a good question, because a lot of people ask me this question. Basically, what they're saying is you don't buy a house to basically live in unless you can afford, outside your money-making abilities, can afford you that house. And what I mean by that is you have to understand that people buy up housing because they buy it, and then when they buy housing, they buy a lot of different houses. People don't realize the cost, not just buying a house now, but the cost of maintenance, the cost of property taxes, the cost of everything that you spend on these houses are not coming back to you in the manner that you think. Yeah, you got a place to live, you got a place to own a house, but the fact is, when you're trying to make money, it's bank draining. It's your account draining when you're working on all these. People buy, a lot of these wealthy people are buying houses because they are using them for rental properties. They know how much they are charging people, as much as they, or just enough to make it competitive, but they're also making it to where they can also not only afford the mortgage, afford the maintenance, and still have a little bit left over in their pockets. That's why they call it a rental property. But this is what we're talking about when it comes to assets and liabilities. You want to make sure that you have more assets at your disposal than you want to have liabilities. And if you remember, if I didn't say it in previous videos, I will say this. Basically, the most simplest definition of an asset and a liability: assets are something that put money into your pocket. Liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. So basically, that simple definition is why a lot of people don't realize what's liabilities and what's assets. They go, oh, my car's an asset, my home's an asset. If your car and your home are making you money, great. If not, they're liabilities. So I will say this. I will say that it was a good question. I think I remember somebody bringing it up. I forgot who it was. Let me take a look and see who it was. I know I'm doing this talk. I know it's a kind of small, but this is, like I said, it's one of those things that I will tell you. I'm going over to my YouTube studio right now. I'm sorry. I'm doing this all live on this and then posting a video. I know I'm going to take a little bit of some long breaks in the middle of it, but yeah, basically, to third hour Unprise, it is one of those things that thank you for the comments. I appreciate it. I just saw that you had another comment about 17 hour. It is, like I said, it is a, the fact is, yeah, owning a house but is a great investment. But the fact is, you also got to understand, people buy houses and don't have enough money themselves to cover the houses and be able to, so you have money left over. You always want to see if you could try to make a profit every day. You want to try to make money, build and grind, so your value goes up and up every single day. That is the reason why I'm doing this video, because I've just started learning this. A lot of people say, well, you know what, if you're going to rent, pay somebody else's mortgage for them. Well, guess what? That is the reason why a lot of people are buying property houses, because they want somebody else to pay their mortgage. If you've got somebody that's desperate enough, and a lot of people won't take my advice, and I understand, but that is the reason why most people are in the 90%, which are wealthy, which are poverty or working class, is because they don't see how the rich are getting richer and how we're getting much more poor. And that's because of the fact is, they rent out properties, they own businesses that people need, and it's the demand. People go out there, spend money frivolously a lot of times, but they spend money to make ends meet, necessities, and they also on their leisures and luxuries. But when you get down to it, this is what's going to happen with all this. The ones that money's going to, money's constantly fluctuated between one place and another. You're going to end up making this kind of much more money. So hopefully a lot of you're going to end up making the money. Hopefully what I say in this video is a little bit more how you say, informational. There's a lot of things that I'd like to talk about when it comes to finances. Like I said, I'm getting into investing. I'm getting into owning stocks, flipping stocks, as well as being able to say, you know what, I have this much, I'm going to do this much. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are enjoying the content, the raw content of my video, I know I'm not the greatest speaker and I kind of jumble words together sometimes, but you know what? It's all about trying to communicate my thoughts and be able to understand what you guys are thinking, appreciate it. It, like you said, and like he would, Third Owl Enterprise was saying, that sometimes the comments that you guys sent, I read them and I'm paying attention to them. I appreciate it. But you also got to also understand that if you're buying your stuff, at least try to make it to where you have a lot, you can afford that. Because if it's set beside itself as just the only thing you own and you're not making money, you're going to be living from paycheck to paycheck. You're going to be living with bills due at the end of the time. There's going to be times where they say, well, I can't afford a water heater or an air conditioning unit to go out. That's where, and people buy the housing saying, well, I bought a house because it's my home. It's my family. Well, guess what? It's to the point where now you have to make sacrifices and go, you know what? I can't afford this because I have to pay this. Everybody goes through that. Now, our goal and my goal personally is trying to get to that point where you can pay both. Don't have to make sacrifices to cover costs because you're making so much money coming in to the point that you got to be able to cover costs that are going out, at even if something emergency or something random comes up. But thank you guys for letting me talk and ramble on. I appreciate it. And hopefully, if you guys are watching this video, I want to say please subscribe, as well as keep giving me those comments. I like to talk more about different things. The things that I learn, the things that I can learn from you guys. I appreciate it. I will always say this. Financially, anytime you can end a day in the profit, you're doing good. So I thank you very much for all your help. Love you guys. Talk to y'all later. Joe Lion out.